Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, STEAM coding students. This is Mr. Ringo, your STEAM teacher. And what we're going to be focusing on today is the tour of my world. So we're going to be looking at mission 1, which is all about creating a tile set. And we'll define what a tile set is very shortly. But let's go into mission 1 and let's see what we have. Part of what this mission is all about is to figure out how to use our tools well so that you're able to create the game that you want. So we are going to be going through the A's, B's, and C's, the 1, 2, 3s of game making. So we're going to take it step by step until you get really good at getting where you need to be. So the first step is on the bottom of the tile set, you have something called the tour of your world. You're going to right click on that, save link as, and you're going to save that link to your Steam folder. Right now I'm just going to save it into the desktop for ease, for my sake, but for you, your Steam folder. All right. So after you've done that, your computer should have the Game Maker program on there. Okay, and I'm going to show you what's in there. So right now Game Maker is not on my desktop, but it should be on your desktop on your own personal computers. You're going to go to File, press Open, and you're going to find that particular file, tourofyourworld.gmk. So open that one up and let's see what this file has. So right here on the side, if I open up my library of resources, I have my sprites where it says man and lady, SPR man, SPR lady. You have a whole bunch of what we call tiles, which we will use in this lesson. Object man, object lady, and a room forest. So we are going to be focusing on the forest scene, and in particular the outside tile, so that you're able to create the foundations of a nice looking forest. So let's open up the forest menu, the forest room. Just double click on that and let's enlarge the screen, and let me hide this tutorial window. We can change the size of the room by increasing the width and the length. So if I say 800 as the width and 600 as the length, I can do that. We are going to be focusing on the tiles now. All right, and tiles are kind of like tiles from a bathroom or tiles of a kitchen. All right, each of these boxes represents an area where you can place a tile in, and I'm going to show you what that might look like in something that you're going to be designing, which is the forest. And so we're going to be focusing on the outside folder and just kind of looking through what we have. We have A1 outside, and you can see what those tiles might look like. It looks like water. All right, in the desert, in lava, in stone, in something green like a lake, some grass, some grounds as well, some flowers, some cliffs, some hills, some rocks, and more cliffs, logs, trees, which we'll get into very shortly. All right, so right now let's focus on, let's see, which one is this? Let's focus on tile A5 outside B. Let's see what we have here. Yep, we can use this. All right, so if I place my cursor there and I click there, we have a box. And we have a box that's pretty small, that's very similar to the size of each of these boxes here in our room. The size of that box is 16 by 16. As we see, the snap is 16 by 16, and the snap is the size of these boxes here. So I can select that piece of grass and do that. But if I do that, it will take forever to do, since I have 800 by 600 pixels. It's a lot of pixels to cover, and that's not a good use of our time. So right now I'm pressing left click to fill in each of the boxes, and I can press right click to delete those tiles. Or if I want to do all at once, I can press shift, hold my mouse, and drag my mouse around without clicking every single time. Same thing with filling it in. I can press left click and shift, and don't press again, and it's kind of like I'm coloring right there. All right, so let me delete all this stuff, and let's try another method in which we can apply tiles. So I'm going to click right here, I'm going to press shift, and I'm going to drag my cursor about there, so I have this rectangular box which is the selection that I'm going to use to paint my tiles, or paint my room with tiles. So if I click right here, there's a preview of that, and there's a preview of this as well. All right, so this is an example of what you can potentially do in your room. Okay, that's one way of doing that as well. Understand there's something called delete underlying. If I click on one of these and try to paint over one of these tiles that you just set in, a piece of it disappears. All right, and so that's me deleting a layer of tiles underneath where I selected. All right, can be useful in some cases and can be very annoying in other cases. So if you don't want that, press delete underlying. Now I'm going to paint the rest of my forest. And yes, this will take a little while, but enjoy the process. We're almost done. And do play around with other textures as well, or other materials. Let's just say I want to place, I don't know, a road, and I want to go to another tile set. Let's say tile set outside, and I want this type of road right here. I'll select that, press shift, and let's see what this offers us. Oops. But you kind of get the picture right here of what I'm doing. Say I want that one as my road. All right, and so forth. And if you want to see how it looks like, press this grid, toggle the showing of the grid, and that's how your room will look like. It's very basic, but it's a good foundation for your room. And that's what you're going to be doing in mission 1, is creating the foundations of your forest.